So today we're going to talk about the short-lived Haas F1 team and Rich Energy relationship that started in 2019 and ended in 2019. Rich Energy claims to be an energy drink manufacturer from the UK. I say claims because people have found it very hard to actually locate any product in stores. Rich Energy CEO William Story claimed that Rich Energy was in nearly 40 countries. The company reportedly also has ties to Premier League team West Ham. But first, to fully understand how Haas and Rich Energy get together, we have to time travel back to 2018 to see how things first started. In 2018, when Force India went into administration prior to the Belgian Grand Prix, Rich Energy made an attempt to buy the team, which failed, for reasons that will probably become more clear later. Force India was later purchased by Canadian businessman Lawrence Stroll for his son Lance Stroll and renamed Racing Point. Rich Energy attended the United States Grand Prix as a guest with Williams. They were working on a sponsorship deal with Williams, which never went through because Rich Energy reportedly failed to show up to the meeting to finalize the deal and sign the contract. Just a few days later, though, Haas had announced a multi-year deal with Rich Energy as their title sponsor, renaming the team Rich Energy Haas F1 Team for the 2019 season. The specific terms were not clear, but this marks the first time that Haas had a primary sponsor other than Gene Haas's Haas Automation. A claim by Rich Energy said the deal was through 2022 for $45.7 million US. However, I've not been able to confirm this. This also marked a drastic color change for the team as they switched from the Haas colors of red, gray, white, and black to an all black and gold paint scheme for 2019. F1 wasn't enough for Rich Energy, though, as they also had a deal to sponsor Jordan King in the 2019 Indy 500. The whole sponsorship deal with Rich Energy seems a little weird from a Haas perspective, though. Gene Haas wanted to get into F1 to grow his Haas Automation brand as a global brand and increase its global market share. So it seems a little strange to see Gene Haas now looking for other alternatives for sponsorship. Gene Haas regularly runs his cars in NASCAR with Haas Automation branding. With the announcement of the Haas sponsorship deal, Rich Energy CEO William Story made a bold statement that he wanted to beat Red Bull, quote, on and off the track, end quote. Story also said, quote, "We are delighted to become the official title partner of Haas F1 team in Formula One. Our companies share a synergy in our work ethos and our desire to bring something new to the table in an environment made up of established brands. We revel in competition, and through our distinctive collaboration, we're looking to further prosper, delivering an exciting concept for the promotion of Rich Energy to the consumer along the way," end quote. Haas team principal Gunther Steiner said, quote, "Securing a title partner in Rich Energy is another milestone moment in the development of Haas F1 team. We welcome their commitment to us as an organization, and together we share an ambition to advance further in our respective fields. It's going to be exciting for us as a team to be the focal point of Rich Energy's marketing endeavors as we go into both new and existing consumer markets around the world in Formula One," end quote. Gunther Steiner also insisted that they did their research and were confident in the legitimacy of Rich Energy. Are ya sure about that? It was reported that the Haas deal was half of what Williams was looking for. Now, to understand more, we have to look further at Haas and their on-track performance. In 2018, Haas had a breakout year in only their third season. They finished 5th in the constructors' standings. Despite a rocky start in Australia with a double retirement, Grosjean and Magnussen would combine for 18 points finishes and a total of 93 points. Their best results came at Austria with a 4th and a 5th place finish. Haas had improved every year in F1 and looked to only be getting better. 2019 came around and they unveiled the VF19, which was designed by Dallara and powered by Ferrari. They had shown good mid-pack speed in winter testing at Barcelona with the 7th fastest time. Australia rolled around and Grosjean retired, but Kevin Magnussen scored a 6th place finish. This was the first time Haas had finished a race in Australia since Romain Grosjean got 6th in Haas's debut race in 2016. Everything changed in Bahrain though. The VF19 suffered race performance. Both drivers qualified well, with Magnussen 6th and Grosjean 8th. Grosjean was involved in an early crash with Lance Stroll that took him out, but Magnussen dropped through the field. It was discovered that over long runs, the VF19 suffered an issue that failed to keep the tires in the optimal temperature range, thus the car suffered performance. Both drivers had speed to make it into Q3 again in China, but struggled in the race. In the 4th race, both drivers missed out on Q3 for the first time in 2019 and missed out on points. The next race at Barcelona saw Haas bring an upgrade to the car in an effort to help tire temperatures. This resulted in a double points finish for Haas, with 7th and 10th. However, this race also saw the second on-track collision between Magnussen and Grosjean. Monaco would see Grosjean get 10th, while Magnussen missed out on points. The first sign of trouble for Rich Energy came in May, when Rich Energy faced a lawsuit by White Bikes for unauthorized copy of their logo, and it certainly doesn't take a genius to see the similarities in the two logos. Story and his friend who designed the logo were called out by the judge as, quote, poor witnesses. Judge Melissa Clark said, quote, I am satisfied that some of Mr. Story's evidence was incorrect or misleading, and that he was involved in the manufacture of documents during the course of litigation to provide additional support for the defendant's case. I do not accept either Mr. Story or Mr. Kelly as credible, reliable witnesses, and I treat all of their evidence with a high degree of caution, end quote. And also, quote, I am satisfied on the balance of probabilities that both Mr. Kelly and Mr. Story have lied about not being familiar with White Bike's logo. I find it more likely that they were familiar with it, and that they directly and knowingly copied it, end quote. Story also estimated that Rich Energy had produced nearly 90 million cans, but then changed his claim and said only 3 million in 2018. The judge agreed with Wyatt Bikes and ordered Rich Energy pay Wyatt Bikes 34,416 British pounds by July 11th, and disallowed them from using the logo after July 18th. Haas removed the Stag logo from the cars prior to the Canadian Grand Prix on June 9th. The cars, however, did retain Rich Energy branding. On July 11th, Wyatt Bikes released a statement that it had not received a payment from Rich Energy and was considering further legal action. Now, back to Haas. The next 3 races saw the team struggle, as their best finish was 14th in Canada from Grosjean. The team added a second upgrade prior to Canada to try and help the tires, but the car still struggled to find consistency. Prior to the British Grand Prix, a tweet from Rich Energy stated it had terminated its deal with Haas due to, quote, poor performance, despite not having a clause in the contract for performance. CEO William Story compared the Haas VF19 to a milk float. There was an internal power struggle going on with Rich Energy between CEO William Story and shareholders. They claimed the tweet terminating their contract with Haas was the work of, quote, a rogue individual. Haas had reverted Grosjean's car to its Australia configuration for the British Grand Prix to compare the original to upgrades that it kept on Magnussen's car. However, in turn 5 on lap 1, Grosjean and Magnussen collided and caused punctures to both cars and damage that ended up retiring both cars. Rich Energy proceeded to post an image of a milk float in Rich Energy colors with William Story on the top of it to Twitter shortly after the collision. Haas had remained fairly silent on the whole situation, but Gunther Steiner had this to say, quote, what have we done wrong? How can you damage something if we don't do anything wrong? End quote. The Rich Energy shareholders released a statement, quote, we wholeheartedly believe in the Haas F1 team, its performance, and the organization as a whole, and we are fully committed to the current sponsorship agreement in place. We also completely believe in the product of Formula One and the platform it offers our brand, end quote. William Story responded, quote, the ludicrous statement by minority shareholders cozy with Red Bull and White Bikes is risible. Their attempted palace coup has failed. I control all of the assets of Rich Energy and have support of all key shareholders, end quote. The day after the British Grand Prix, the company filed documentation with the UK government stating that Williams Story was no longer affiliated with the company and that it claimed it had changed its name to Lightning Volt Limited. The following day, Williams Story, via the Rich Energy Twitter account, stated he had sold his majority stake in the company. Story also stated that, quote, he'll be back. The team followed up the disappointment in Silverstone with their best combined result of the season at Hockenheim, with Grosjean 7th and Magnussen 8th. Red Bull filed a lawsuit against Rich Energy for the use of a marketing slogan that they claimed was trademark infringement. There's not any public information that I could find to determine what the outcome of this lawsuit was. In September, shortly after the Italian Grand Prix, Haas had announced that they had mutually cut ties with Rich Energy and would compete in the remainder of the season as Haas F1 team, while continuing to race the black and gold scheme with the removal of Rich Energy. Haas released the following statement, quote, Haas F1 team and Rich Energy have amicably agreed to end their partnership together and the FIA Formula One World Championship with immediate effect, while enjoying substantial brand recognition and significant exposure through its title partnership of Haas F1 team in 2019. A corporate restructuring process at Rich Energy will see the need for a revised global strategy. Subsequently, Haas F1 team and Rich Energy have concluded a termination of the existing partnership was the best way forward for both parties. Haas F1 team would like to express its thankful and best wishes to the stakeholders at Rich Energy, end quote. Haas only ever received their initial payment from Rich Energy. Rich Energy sent out several tweets throughout the remainder of the season in an apparent attempt to mock Haas. They even tried to attract McLaren at one point. McLaren CEO Zach Brown had this to say, quote, I haven't spoken with them, I won't speak with them, I think that is an attempt to get some publicity, end quote. Rich Energy then tweeted demanding an apology from Zach Brown and stated that they had met several times to discuss a sponsorship opportunity. Haas finished out 2019 with 28 points and 9th in the constructor standings, their worst finish in the team's short history. The team finished with 7 points finishes on the season. The team reverted back to the Haas Automation color scheme for 2020. Gunther Steiner said, in reference to the team's future sponsorship opportunities, quote, we are a lot more careful. We have not burned fingers, but we are a lot more careful about what we are doing, and we are in no rush to do anything. You can make a mistake once, and the second time doesn't work, end quote. In February 2020, British Superbikes team OMG Racing announced a sponsorship deal with Rich Energy. Team owner Alan Gardner had this to say, quote, we are delighted to announce Rich Energy as our title sponsor for the upcoming racing season and beyond, and to officially launch our 2020 Rich Energy OMG BMW S1000RR. We are well aware of the previous controversy linked to Rich Energy. However, Williams Story and the team at Rich Energy have been very transparent in their business dealings to give us a full confidence in our partnership to move ahead, end quote. That's funny, because I remember an F1 team principal that once said they were confident in their research of Rich Energy, and we just saw how that turned out. It's unclear what happened when they claimed to have renamed as Lightning Volt Limited without Williams Story. In August 2020, Rich Energy tweeted out a cryptic tweet that potentially pointed to taking legal action against Haas. There hasn't seemed to be any more information since then, though. Financial documents later uncovered that Rich Energy's bank account only grew from 103 British pounds in 2016 to 581 British pounds in 2017. I guess Williams Story was planning on buying Force India on hopes and dreams? Rich Energy has claimed significant growth since then, but there is nothing to prove or disprove this. So that brings us to the end of Rich Energy's short time as an F1 sponsor. I'm sure Claire Williams was sitting there watching all this unfold and going, whew, dodged a bullet there. So now, you've heard from me, and now I want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on the Haas-Rich Energy relationship? Who do you think was at fault? Haas, or did Rich Energy just do a great disguise job? Thanks for watching, and until next time, so long, everybody.